My girlfriend taunted, "What's wrong?" Scared of a little competition. About her touching new coworker. I said, "Competition. This isn't a game." She realized it wasn't when HR called them both in. I'd sent the security footage of their friendly hugs to corporate. They both got fired. I, 28 male, am sitting here with a beer, still processing everything that went down over the past month. My now ex-girlfriend, Tessa, 26, learned the hard way that some games aren't worth playing. We've been together for 3 years, living together for 1. Both worked at the same massive tech company, but different departments. Me in IT infrastructure, her in marketing. Never had issues with workplace boundaries before. That changed when Dimitri, 31, joined her team 2 months ago. Started innocently enough. Tessa mentioned the new guy was super friendly and really knows his stuff. Cool, whatever. Then came the stories about how he'd bring her coffee every morning. Knew exactly how she liked it. How he'd stay late to help her with projects. How he was just a touchy person who gave great shoulder massages when she was stressed. The first time I raised an eyebrow, she laughed it off. "Babe, he's like that with everyone. Very European, you know." Dimitri was from somewhere in Eastern Europe. Apparently, this explained everything. But when I asked if he gave shoulder massages to Brad from accounting, she got defensive. Things escalated when she started coming home later, always with stories about Dimitri. How funny he was. How he understood marketing in ways others didn't. How his ideas were revolutionary. I'm not the jealous type, but something fell off. The tipping point came 3 weeks ago. We were having dinner when she casually mentioned Dimitri had asked her to a marketing conference next month. Just the two of them. Company would cover hotel rooms. When I said that seemed inappropriate, she rolled her eyes. God, Mason, what's wrong? Scared of a little competition. She actually smirked when she said it. I set down my fork. Competition. This isn't a game, Tessa. Everything's a competition, babe. That's how the world works. Dimitri gets that. He's going places. She took a sip of wine. Maybe you should be taking notes instead of getting all insecure. I'm not insecure. I'm pointing out your coworkers crossing professional boundaries. She laughed. Actually laughed. Professional boundaries. We work in tech, not a bank. Loosen up. Besides, she leaned back. Competition keeps relationships fresh. Maybe if you were less predictable, I wouldn't enjoy the attention. That stung. But what really got me was the look in her eyes. Like she was enjoying this. Like watching me squirm was entertainment. So this is what? Some kind of test. Life's a test, Mason. Dimitri makes my workdays interesting. He challenges me. When's the last time you surprised me with anything? I slept on the couch that night. Not because she kicked me out. Because I needed to think. See, what Tessa didn't know was that I had way more access to company systems than the average employee. Perks of being IT infrastructure. Including access to security footage from all common areas and open office spaces. I'd never abused that access before. But her competition comment kept echoing. If she wanted to play games, maybe it was time to check the scoreboard. Update 1. Holy hell. So I did it. Logged into the security system yesterday morning. Told myself I was just going to glance just to ease my mind. What I found was illuminating. The morning coffee ritual. Yeah. Dimitri brought her coffee. But the footage showed him arriving 45 minutes early every day just to be there when she walked in. He'd literally wait by the elevator. Creepy but not damning. The shoulder massages. Way more than occasional. I found at least 12 instances over 2 weeks. And they weren't quick. Hey, your shoulders look tense things. We're talking 5 to 10 minute sessions. His hands sliding down her arms or leaning back into him. In one, she actually closed her eyes and bit her lip. But the real kicker was from last Thursday. In a day, most people gone. They were in the small kitchen area. He had her backed against the counter. One hand on her waist. The other playing with her hair. She was giggling, doing that thing where she touches someone's chest while laughing. Then he leaned in, whispered something, and she gave him this look. The same look she used to give me when we first started dating. They didn't kiss. But her hand stayed on his chest for way too long. And when they finally separated, she adjusted her skirt and smoothed her hair in that telling way. I saved everything. HD quality. Timestamps visible. That evening, Tessa came home giddy. Dimitri got approval for the conference. It's gonna be amazing. 3 days in the city. All expenses paid. The hotel has a spa. That's nice, I said. Not looking up from my laptop. She frowned. That's it. No jealous boyfriend routine. You said competition keeps things fresh. I'm just giving you space to compete. Her frown deepened. You're being weird. Am I? Or am I being less predictable? She didn't like that. Started asking what was wrong with me. Why I was acting cold. I just shrugged and said I had work to do. The confusion on her face was, honestly, kind of satisfying. But here's where it gets interesting. Today at work, I needed to verify something in the security footage. Legal reasons. If I was going to do anything with it, needed to make sure I hadn't violated any policies. Turns out, all common areas are fair game. It's in the employee handbook everyone signs. Cameras are clearly marked. No expectation of privacy. While reviewing more footage, I found something else. 2 weeks ago, late Friday, the office was empty except for them. They were in her department's area. And, well, let's just say what I saw would definitely interest HR. His hands were places they shouldn't be. And she was definitely not discouraging it. They moved out of camera range for about 20 minutes. Then reappeared with messy hair and readjusted clothing. So now I'm sitting here with a flash drive full of evidence. Part of me wants to confront her. Part of me remembers her smirk, her competition comment, her enjoyment of my discomfort. Competition, huh? Okay, game on. Update 2. The last week has been intense. After my last post, I decided to play the long game. Saved all the footage to multiple backups, organized by date and time. But I didn't act immediately. Instead, I became the boyfriend Tessa claimed she wanted. Unpredictable. Started going to the gym at weird hours. Picked up extra shifts. When she'd text asking where I was, I'd give vague responses. Out. Busy. In a meeting. The same energy she'd been giving me about Dimitri reflected back. It drove her crazy. Suddenly, she was all over me. Cooking dinner, suggesting date nights, being extra affectionate, even bought lingerie. But she didn't stop the thing with Dimitri. If anything, it escalated. See, I kept monitoring. Not obsessively, just checking key times. And boy, did they get bolder. Daily lunch meetings that were clearly not about marketing strategies. More kitchen encounters. Once, I caught them making out in the stairwell. Full-on teenager-style groping. The universe handed me a gift last Tuesday. I was in the server room when I overheard 2 executives talking about visiting our floor for a culture walk. Basically, surprise inspections to see how departments operate. They mentioned being particularly interested in marketing's new strategies. That's when I decided to pull the trigger. Wednesday morning, I compiled everything. 2 months of footage showing progressive boundary crossing, culminating in that stairwell makeout session from Monday. I anonymous USB'd it to corporate HR with a note, concern employee, this is happening daily in marketing. Both parties are creating a hostile work environment for others. Then I waited. Thursday was normal. Tessa came home talking about some presentation Dimitri killed. How innovative he was. I just nodded and smiled. Friday morning, everything exploded. Got a text from Tessa at 10 a.m. WTF. HR just pulled me and Dimitri into separate meetings. Someone reported us for inappropriate conduct. Me, that's weird. What kind of conduct? Her IDK, but they're being super serious. Dimitri's freaking out. I'm sure it's a misunderstanding. This is BS. Probably some jealous cow from accounting. Radio silence for 3 hours. Then her OMG, they have video from the security cameras. Multiple videos. Videos of what? You know what? This is probably your fault somehow. You work in IT. Did you say something? Me, I work in infrastructure, not security. And say something about what? I don't even know what or don't play dumb Mason. I thought you liked games. Competition. This isn't funny. They're talking about termination. Termination? For what? Must be pretty serious if they're considering firing you. The shoulder massages. The hugs. They're calling it inappropriate physical contact in the workplace. And creating a hostile environment. Me, just shoulder massages and hugs. Silence. Then they might have seen us in the stairwell. Doing what in the stairwell? Her talking. We must have been some conversation. I'm coming home. We need to talk. She burst through the door at 2 p.m. Mascara streaked. Absolutely furious. This is you. I know this is you. You did something. I was sitting on the couch. Commas could be. Did what? You still haven't told me what they saw. Don't play games. I thought you loved games. Competition, remember? She actually screamed in frustration. This isn't a game. My job is on the line. Neither was our relationship, but you turned it into one. That stopped her cold. What? I stood up. What's wrong, Tessa? Scared of a little competition. Dimitri challenged you, right? Made things interesting. Well, congratulations. You competed. How's that working out? You indicative piece of shit. You spied on me. The cameras are in plain sight. It's in the handbook. No expectation of privacy in common areas. I grabbed my pre-packed bag. By the way, I'll be staying at Jake's for a while. Good luck with HR. As I headed for the door, she grabbed my arm. Wait. They want me to make a statement. If I say it was all Dimitri that he was harassing me, maybe. I shook her off. Wow. Ready to throw him under the bus already. What happened to revolutionary Dimitri who understands marketing? Your competition. This is my career. Should have thought of that before making out with him in the stairwell at work. Her face went white. How did you? Doesn't matter. What matters is HR has the footage. Multiple incidents over weeks. Pretty hard to claim harassment when you're actively participating. I left her standing there and haven't been back to the apartment since. Final update. Well, it's over. Both the relationship and their careers at the company. The HR investigation was swift and brutal. Turns out when corporate gets involved, they don't mess around. They interviewed everyone in marketing and surprise, people had noticed. Several coworkers came forward about feeling uncomfortable with Tessa and Dimitri's behavior. One in turn said she actively avoided the kitchen when they were there because it felt like walking in on foreplay. Tessa tried everything. First, she went with the harassment angle, but the footage showed her as an eager participant and she tried to minimize it. Just friendly coworker stuff blown out of proportion. HR wasn't buying it. The stairwell footage was apparently the nail in the coffin. Hard to explain away, full contact grinding as a European greeting. Dimitri, for his part, tried to throw her under the bus right back. Claimed she pursued him, that he was just trying to fit into American workplace culture. That went over about as well as you'd expect when they showed him the footage of him waiting by the elevator every morning like a creeper. They were both terminated with cause last Monday. No severance, no references, and good luck explaining to future employers why you got fired from a major tech company. Tessa blew up my phone. Over 200 texts ranging from please talk to me. I made a mistake. It wasn't what it looked like. You destroyed my life over petty jealousy. I'll sue you for this. Please, I need you. You're a controlling psycho. I'm sorry, please come home. I hate you. Can we at least talk about the apartment? That last one I did respond to. Told her she had 30 days to find a new place. Lease is in my name only. Thankfully, she could stay while I'm at Jake's, but I'd be back end of month and expected her gone. The response was unhinged. Apparently, without her marketing salary, she can't afford anywhere decent. Dimitri won't return her calls. Shocker, the revolutionary genius disappeared when consequences arrived. Her friends are being weird, probably because they heard what happened. Her parents are disappointed. And somehow this is all my fault. Got one last text yesterday. I hope you're happy. You won. Your competition is over. I responded. There was never any competition. There was a relationship with boundaries and expectations. You decided those were negotiable. They weren't. Blocked her after that. Funny thing about trash taking itself out. Once you see it clearly, you realize the smell was there all along. I kept blaming myself, thinking I was being jealous or insecure. But watching her these past weeks, the manipulation attempts, the refusal to take any responsibility. I dodged a bullet, a 3-year bullet, but still found out from a coworker that Dimitri's wife, yet he was married, that came out during the investigation, flew in from their home state. And apparently the scene in the parking lot was epic. Tessa gets to add home record to her resume now. As for me, I'm good. Better than good. Jake's been a solid friend. Found a nice 1-bedroom that's actually closer to work. Been hitting the gym regularly at normal hours now. Even got a promotion. Turns out when you're not stressed about your girlfriend's competition, you can focus on actual work. The apartment's mine again at month's end. Planning to get a dog. Maybe a German Shepherd. Something loyal that doesn't need to make everything a competition. To anyone reading this, dealing with similar BS, trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And if someone tells you they need competition to keep things interesting, let them compete in the unemployment line. Game over.